back to Art and Soul Studios. I'm Karen Zima. Today I want to show you how I created this lovely still life. It is very eye-catchy from a distance. Those apples really pop. One thing I want to do yet is put a shellac, a shiny coat over to make the highlights pop even more. I haven't done that yet, but that's my next project. I'm going to do that. Very colorful apples. I haven't painted one in a long time, 20 years. Was my first still life was a shoe, and I was very happy with that. And I'm very happy with this, so I'm going to do some more for you guys. So, if I can do it, you can do it. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. The apples in my painting are going to be full of color, and they are called hand-picked. I picked them for a reason. They're going to be so real looking and delicious, you're going to want to pick them out of the painting and eat them, just like this guy. I'm very excited about this project because it's a still life, and I haven't done a still life in 20 years. In fact, I probably only did one or two then. And those were in a art class. So I'm going to do one today on my own. I'm very excited about it. What I have sketched out here is two giant apples, and they're going to be sitting on like a wooden table on the bottom. And there's a vase there. It's going to have some like blue decorations. It's going to be a white vase, and it's going to stand out because the background is going to be like a blackish, dark color. Okay, the colors that I put out for today for this, I could probably use more, but I put out what I could so far. There is a cobalt blue, and over on this side, I have a phthalo blue, a viridian green, a sap green. There is some black. There's like a fire engine red, a flamenco red, some dark orange, lighter orange, some brown, yellow ochre, and a light yellow, and some white. This one green color got really runny. And then there's a viridian green. And those are the colors. So let's begin. I think what we're going to do is start by making the background dark so we can see the tones of our apples instead of working on them first. We'll try that. So go ahead and wet your canvas. These are acrylics, so require a lot of water. So we will start by putting in, I gotta watch my teeth, like a black. And then we're going to go over it with like greens, reds, blues, because you don't want to just make it solid black. A lot of tones will help. Around the vase, you can just sketch out a vase and two apples. And we will put in the magnificent colors of these apples. And we'll try and get them to look real. Actually, the vase is going to kind of blend over there, so I'm not too worried about the edge of it. So it's going to, you're only going to really see this part of the vase light. We have our table right about there. Now what I'm doing now, I sped it up because I'm sure you don't want to watch me paint in the whole background. I'm putting down black tones and putting some red over it because it kind of breaks up the solid blackness and gives it some texture. It's a great way to paint. Sometimes I put blues over it, greens, sometimes all of them. You know, it just breaks it up and makes it a whole lot more interesting to look at. And plus the red in the black goes with the whole color scheme of the painting. Well, you'll see. Okay, we're going to start with, say this apple over here. So, we're going to put in this red color. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do that. I think I'm going to make this black so we can see what we're working up against here. So they're not red on red tones. Okay, so just go ahead and color your whole apple in red. And down here we are going to have this leaf. Now we're going to go around the apple in medium red tones, darker at the bottom, lighter at the top, and just go and make your brush strokes go with the shape of the apple as it rounds around the top. Round your brush strokes around the top too. And apples aren't just solid red. There's lots of tones in them if you really look close. So see where I'm going now? I'm going to put in yellow ochre and leave some yellow tones where it's not quite ripe there. And save some room for the highlights. You know, you need lights and darks in the whole apple. And I don't think I've ever painted an apple truly, no fruit. I have painted my shoe. That was my first still life. And I loved my shoe, and I don't know what happened to it. I lost my shoe somewhere. Nowhere to be found. Even if you've never had any drawing or painting experience, all you have to do is put out two apples and study the shape and the contours of them. They have simple, beautiful contours. Just put them out in front and draw them they're basically round, but look closer at them and observe the shadows on the apple and the highlights. And make them darker at the bottom where the shadows are, and then just leave brighter spots for those highlights. Now, if you really look close and study your apple, you will see there are veins in the apple and little dark spots sprinkled all over like paint splatters. So if you want to pick your apple up and study it really closely, you will see this. And then try and pull some of them out in your painting to give it a more realistic Here's an interesting fact about apples. I bet you didn't know they were members of the rose family and were first planted by pilgrims. Stay tuned and I'll tell you what the largest apple ever weighed was and why they float. You want to know that? Stay tuned. I'll give you the answers. A lot of people find leaves challenging to do. I did save them for last myself because they are a little bit challenging. They do support our apple and give it life by taking in the oxygen and making it grow and everything. So we do got to give them some attention. And I put them in my painting for that reason, to remind you that, you know, the leaves help our apples grow. I like using sap green in my leaves, and I mix it with a little yellow for a warmer tone. And if I want a bluer leaf or a cooler tone, I add in some cobalt blue
and mix that up. I put in a darker shade of green, like Viridian, for the shadows of the leaf. And then put those in, and then just lighten up some of the midtones, and you will have your highlights. And do not forget to put in the veins of the leaf, because the more veins you put in, the more realistic it looks. My leaves are a little bit dried up looking, because they have been picked and sitting there for a while, so they're not fresh picked, but you know, a day old will give you curly leaves like that. And I gave my leaves some character by twisting them.
Okey-doke. We are on the last leg of this painting. We got a leaf there to do. So let's get a nice green color and start putting it in. And let's see, it's going to be lighter where it's folded over. Let's get the lighter green going. Okay, step back and take a look. I'm pretty happy with mine. I hope you're happy with yours. I hope you followed along. These two apples took me a lot longer than I thought. I thought apples would be simple, but really, they're not all that simple. I guess the more you do, the better you get at it. So, I hope you guys followed along, watch me create it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making a lot more videos, and you want to get notifications when they come in. So, anybody interested in this painting, give me a shout, and I'll give you a good price on it. So, until next time, bye-bye.